You play a wrong note and the advice is always the same. Practice slow, repeat it again. Okay, so you fix the mistake in a slow tempo, but as soon as you speed up, it's there, again, a wrong note. So you slow down, you go over the same process again, and you end up in this vicious, never-ending loop. So how do we get out of this loop? Well, that's what I'm going to tell you in this video, because there's something really important we have to do before we practice slow and finally get rid of the wrong notes. Wrong notes are incredibly frustrating, there is no argue here. But here's the thing, we often treat them as if they're all the same problem. They're not. Imagine you have a headache and a broken leg. They're both problems, but you wouldn't treat them the same way. Unless you're in the Netherlands, of course, then you get a paracetamol for both. In piano playing, different mistakes usually have different causes. And instead of jumping right away into slow practice, metronome practice, or endless repetition and wasting hours on end, we need to ask a much more important question. What's actually causing my mistake, my wrong note? Because once you understand the cause, the solution often becomes surprisingly simple. So let's look at a few examples. So let's look at our first example. This is from Chopin Etude, Opus 25, number 11. Now, as you can imagine, this piece is full of opportunities to play wrong notes, and it would be so easy to jump into slow practice or practice with metronome in the hope of fixing our wrong notes. And both of these could work, but let's leave them aside for now. Why? Well, here's the problem. If I do slow practice, or some metronome practice, wrong notes seem to disappear for a while, and as soon as the tempo goes up again, they come back. So now we have to ask a different question. Why is this happening? What's going on here? Why would I go back to a metronome or slow practice when I just done it and I'm still having wrong notes? Before we continue with the video, you might enjoy checking out our course, The Mistake-Proof Pianist. Fixing mistakes is basically the core of this course, and everything we do in our day-to-day practice is in it. The link to the course will be down below. Let's continue with the video. What's the point to continue practicing the same way without even knowing what's truly going on? Let's look at bar 8, where I catch myself often playing wrong notes. What we see at first are groups of 6 notes. This, 6, 6. Now if we zoom a bit more, we can see that those 6 notes, that we can group them into smaller groups of 2 notes, and more precisely a pair of an upper and a lower note. Upper, lower, upper, lower. The whole thing is based on this alternating movement. And now I start thinking, is the problem here actually speed? Things seem to go well during the first 3 beats, until here, but once I start going up from the G sharp, I often hit a wrong note. So then I think we have groups of 2 notes alternating up and down. So what if the problem there isn't speed but something else? Could it be a simple positioning of the hand and the fingers? Because if it is, now we have something totally different. Instead of thinking and practicing separate notes, we can group those 2 notes we discovered into a single unit like this. By doing this, we can concentrate purely on positioning the hand properly. Suddenly we have a practice and an exercise that's so much more specific. And now we can go slow, we can get the metronome, we can do all those general ways of practicing we heard about, but at the same time we're targeting the exact problem we were having with wrong notes. Our hand is learning to recognize the right positions better, we understand better the logic behind the passage, and simultaneously we're learning the piece even better. Now let's look at another very common problem, jumps. And yeah, they basically appear everywhere, and knowing how to deal with them will solve you lots of problems. There are plenty of them in exercises and etudes, like in Czerny, Also in Chopin, our previous example, just a different spot. They also appear in lyrical pieces. Look at this gorgeous piece by Schumann. Even in my own compositions like Dancing Memories, there are jumps in the left hand that need to be played accurately, even though they are easier. The examples are endless, and of course jumps are one of the easiest and best places to play wrong notes. Now what I'm going to do here is give you a solution that works for many different types of jumps. And it's going to be much more useful than just repeating your passages 20 times and hoping the wrong notes disappear. Let's focus on the example from Schumann. Now, before anything else, we have to acknowledge the obvious thing. You need to know the notes really well. Because if you don't, or you have even the slightest doubt, no amount of exercise or practice is going to prevent you from playing wrong notes. So let's assume that you already know them. However, you are playing and wonderful, a wrong note. Now immediately, the most important questions should be, why am I playing wrong notes and where? Once we know that, we can choose the exercise that's going to help us the most. The first thing I would do is I would zoom in, exactly like in the previous piece, and identify where the real jumps actually are. Because with a piece like this, we often consider everything difficult. There are lots of jumps, lots of notes, lots of movement, but that's not really true. If you look carefully, you'll notice that the fastest jumps happen only in a few specific places. For example, if we start playing, the first jump we have, the first very fast jump we have is between B and G. Then the next one is here between C and F. And the next one is between D and E flat. Now, those are the moments where the hand has the least amount of time to prepare. That's super important to know, because then we can create an exercise that targets those specific jumps, those specific moments, instead of practicing the passage over and over again with the hope that it gets better. Now let's ask one more question. What are we actually playing here? Octaves. Which leads to another crucial question. When you make the jump, does your hand actually arrive on the next note in an octave position? Do your fingers arrive on the correct keys? Because the jump in itself doesn't have to be the real problem. The problem is what happens after you make the jump. So one of my favorite exercises in this kind of case is this. Play the note before the jump and then jump as quickly as possible to the next note. But don't play that note. Land on the keys and check, are your fingers actually on the right keys? In this case, first finger on this G and fifth finger on this G. This is the jump. I was almost off. Do the same with the next jump. Play the C and jump as quickly as possible to the F. And check, are your fingers on F and F? Now the next one. Go through all the jumps this way. What I see among students is two things. First is that they can't find the note after the jump. They can't find the note quickly enough. They're searching for it. The second problem is that even if they find the next note, one of their fingers is slightly off, not on the right key. The hand hasn't really arrived in the correct position, which of course leads to playing a wrong note. And that's why this exercise is so powerful, because it's targeting the exact problem. We're training the hand to find the correct octave shape on the correct key and do that as fast as possible. And the more accurate you become, of course, you will notice that the wrong notes start disappearing. Then, just like in our previous example, you can start adding slow practice, metronome practice, and do as many repetitions as you like to your routine. And now everything you are doing works together for your benefit. And if you want to get even better at not playing wrong notes, check this video out. It's all about reading and playing at the same time, another big issue that causes lots of wrong notes. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you in the next video.